You thought I was going to say welcome back to another episode of Searching for McGuffin. You were wrong. The link is clearly confused.
You got us, man.
Right? Doesn't it feel weird? Doesn't it feel weird to, like, you know, break from the norm, tradition?
Feels
nice,
good.
though.
Right? You know, it's summer.
Mm-hmm.
We want to change things up a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Liani here. Thank you so much for being here on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Definitely miss you. Well, you were on an episode where I wasn't. So, I mean, actually, me.
Yeah, you haven't been
I'm
here in a
thankful to
while.
myself for being
You
here. I haven't been here in a minute.
Yeah, thanks Gabe for
Welcome
being
to
here
the
because I
show,
feel
Gabe.
like I've been on this show more than you have.
You have. I feel welcomed.
Where are my royalties?
It's true. We gotta work that out.
No, yeah, we heard your opinions from Barbie about Greta.
Yeah, I heard that she was going to be on the show, so I called her up and, you know, shared my thoughts, and I think she did a great job.
Yeah.
And
I would
I'm
agree.
obviously very excited to see her in their new film.
Excited.
So what are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about Hot Boy Summer. We're bringing it back, right? However, this time we're doing something a little bit different. We have Leanne here. And
Thank
the
God.
reason
The female
why it's Hot Boy
perspective.
Summer is because she's one of the boys.
Correct.
Boy.
Or maybe we are still the girls and it's Hot Girl Summer. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we can. Girlies is what I would use to describe you guys.
Girlies? All
I
right.
think the girlies, I
Okay.
get it, and that's you guys.
I'm with it.
It's inclusive.
like
It's
it.
an inclusive
I'm
term.
with it.
Yeah.
Hot girly
Welcome-
summer.
Hot girly summer. I like it. Oh, I like it with girly better than girl. So today we are talking about dating, right? Now it's interesting because all of us here are in different places. Gabe and I are in Miami. Dan, you are in Orlando, and Leigh, you are in
New York.
New York.
The entire East Coast.
So we represent the entire East Coast. That's true. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, just Miami, Orlando, and New York. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all
Forget
it
those people in the West.
Yeah, forget everything else in the middle.
Yeah.
is. Forget the West.
And those people too.
I mean, everyone does forget the middle.
They don't have their own time zone, do they?
They do.
No.
That's called
Mid-
Central
They
Time.
do. They do.
The Midwest.
The Midwest.
So we're going to be talking about dating, right? And what it looks like to be dating in the 21st century and dating from different cities as well.
We're in the 21st already?
Are we? 22nd?
That's crazy.
21st? Yeah.
I got you there, huh?
You know what I mean? I know that there's one, we're ahead one, in which in my mind makes no sense, but whatever. I'll accept it. Science. It is how it is.
All right, so dating in this current century,
In this current century.
whatever that may be.
Yeah. But because it is our second episode of Hot Boy Summer, Hot Boy Girls, we're going to do an update, right? Where are we in our lives now that a whole year has passed in our dating life? Right? Does anyone want to go first?
Yeah, not much has changed.
Yeah. Well, things have changed for me.
Yeah? Let
Yeah.
me know.
Okay.
Tell us.
So,
Tell the people.
let me tell you, things have changed. I have gotten more bolder since the last time.
You've gotten bolder.
Yeah, I
More
have.
bolder.
More bold.
The boulder.
More bold.
boulder does not like that. Right? I have gotten more bold. This was whole year, approached one woman, and I got her Instagram.
Hey,
Nice.
okay.
Nice.
Tell us the story. What happened?
Nice.
What happens? Okay, so this is what it was. It was after I came back from my trip that George and I were in, right?
Yeah.
We landed in Miami, and we're waiting for our luggage to get here. But it's taking forever, right? So I was with George and my sister and our families, and we went on this trip with some family friends. So I was with them waiting for our luggage. I'm like, all right, let me go hang out with my family friend. Let me go complain to them. So I'm with her, and I'm like complaining out loud, obnoxiously. Oh my goodness, when is our bag? One of our bags coming? I hate traveling. I never want to do this again. And then the girl next to me, who I wasn't really paying attention to, starts laughing, and she starts asking, "Oh, where are you guys from? Where do you guys come from?" And then we tell them our trip details and all that stuff. And I'm like, "Oh, this girl's cute," but let me just continue asking questions, talking to her, right? And that's what it was. We were just talking questions, asking questions, and talking. My friend, I don't know if she picked it up, but she left. So it's just me and this girl talking. If you did pick it up, congrats. That was pretty cool of you.
You knew the
If you-
vibe.
Congrats.
Yeah. So we just talking. And at the end, right before we left, I'm like, hey, let me get your Instagram. And this was very cheesy. I said, let me get your Instagram so we can follow each other's adventures. And
That's
it
pretty
worked.
cheesy.
And I got it. And that's it.
Whatever works.
Have you
Whatever
talked to her
works.
since? This is recently then.
Yeah, this was recently.
I didn't even know about this.
I know. I forgot because you haven't been here.
It's okay,
Gabe.
don't worry about it.
Exclusive for the podcast.
You could have told Barbie, but that's cool.
Was she? I didn't know if she was going to relay that message back. to me.
Barbie's
I'm
busy.
sorry.
Barbie
She's on a press tour.
Is she on the press tour? She's still on the press tour?
Barbie's on a press tour.
They still have press for that movie?
I don't know.
I
Not
think
anymore.
they're actually on
Yeah,
strike,
I
but
think
that's a
they
different.
might be doing
All right, go ahead.
but-
Right? So I reached out to her. I slid into her DMs and we talked a little bit. But after a while, like, I don't know. It just kind of died off. And I'm like, I don't want to push it too much. So. yeah,
On
so
her
I'm-
end or your end?
I didn't want to push it on my end. Like you can see that the conversation was getting a little bit stale.
Yeah.
Like the response.
Where
started
was she
getting
from?
shorter.
What
So she works in the
what
Peace
was her
Corps.
story?
So she's in Africa.
Peace Corps.
Yeah, exactly. And
Wow.
she was gonna be there.
Where
for,
was
like,
this at? Is this in Miami? Or
This
is
was
this
the airport. Yeah.
when you got back?
When I got back.
Okay.
Yeah. We were on the same flight, waiting for each other, waiting for the luggage.
Yeah.
And she was here because she was on vacation and then was gonna go back to the country in Africa.
To
she
the
was in.
Peace Corps.
Yeah, to the Peace Corps.
Nice.
That's a cool
That's-
job. That's a
it
nice
is.
interaction.
Yeah.
You know what? I am proud of you. I'm
Thank
proud of you for
Yeah,
taking that
that's a
step.
good
Thank
one.
Yeah, you put yourself out there.
I did, and let me tell you, this girl is freaking beautiful. I was like, no way I
Good for
talked
you,
to
man.
that and got her Instagram. And
Hey,
that's
hey,
it.
hey.
But
Yeah, look,
Hey,
no,
what-
confident.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
Of course you got her Instagram.
of course,
What
yeah.
are you talking about? None of that
Come
negative
on,
self-talk
man.
here. Come on.
I love you guys.
Come on.
If you were next to me, I'd give you hugs and kisses. I'm gonna give one to Gabe, bro. Te quiero.
Thank you.
That's my update.
I am proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah. On that note, a relationship with somebody in the Peace Corps. How do you guys feel about long distance relationships?
I think the connection has to be very strong.
Yeah.
I think starting off something long distance can be very challenging, which I mean, it's not unheard of, but I think
No, plenty of people do
personally-
it.
I think personally for me, I think it would have to be something that's had already been established, and obviously something that's talked about, communicated a lot, because it's not easy. And
Yeah.
sometimes you might think, oh yeah, it'll be fine. Like, you know, we'll see each other every so often and so and so. But there is a difference of, like, I mean, it also depends on personality types, but also and love languages and how you feel loved. It's like distance from someone can either, you know, makes the heart grow fonder in some cases, or it can make it, just being absent can lead you to, you know, straying further and further apart. So I'm not opposed to the idea, but I think something definitely should be established,
Yeah.
for me at least.
I
Yeah.
think it depends on the people.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree.
Yeah.
I think that's
Like,
what it
some
comes down to.
people can do it successfully, and those people are. I
Thriving?
respect it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could do it personally, but I respect.
think-
it.
Yeah.
I think
for
at
some
some
people
Yeah, I think
and
at some point,
circumstances.
there has to be this is just a temporary thing, you know?
Mhm.
At some point, you got to be in
Like
the same cities.
there is a point where, like, our paths will, like, have us being in the same place at the same time.
Yeah.
Like if it's like we have to wait a year or two, then
Yeah.
but there has to be like
Which I feel like
yeah. Go ahead.
I feel like that's a lot of the long distance stuff. I feel like is the situation where people are like, "Oh, we have to be long distance, but it's only for this amount of time." Hopefully,
No, yeah, because I mean,
There's,
when
like-
you think about it, it's like you're in a relationship. You kind of like want to be with the person. You want to be able to hug them and do things with them, and it's like obviously with the inventions that we have, the innovations, like FaceTime and all these things that you can do virtually, especially after the pandemic.
Mhm.
I think a lot of that stuff, like, it's brought us closer, but at the same time, like, I don't think anything will ever top human interaction with each other.
Yeah.
And that goes beyond relationships. That goes with friendships, people, you like random strangers that you're gonna meet. Like, there's just something about being in a space with like another human being that can never be replaced by something on a screen.
Mm.
And I think that, if there has to be an end goal, like the end game is obviously to be with this person at a certain point in time, and with whatever you're leading up to,
Yeah.
But a lot of that is, you do what you think is best in your relationship. You make your choices, and personally, we'd have to be working towards something. Like, we're doing this because we have to be like this, but at some point in the future, we are going to be able to be together, in person.
My mom says, amor de lejos, amor de pendejos.
What is it?
How do you translate that?
classic.
Yeah.
Love from
Classic.
far away, love from love of, I don't know how to say pendejo in English.
That was the translation for that.
Pendejo.
Can we get a direct translation?
What is it? No, there's one that goes
Dumb love. Huh?
no, something amor aparto, like I don't know. I forgot.
Yeah.
It was like when people are apart, then there's like two other people in the relationships. Something like my dad always tells me like with a cuatro or something. I don't
I've
know.
never heard that.
Mm,
I'm gonna butcher that.
yeah.
I'm gonna look it up just so I'm not looking like an idiot. But continue talking.
No, yeah. What about anyone else want to update us on their dating life? Leigh, or
Yeah, mine is kind of non-existent, or maybe on pause is the better
Mm.
word. I'm not actively dating right now.
Cool. We love that for you.
It sounded very ominous. There's not a big reason behind that. Sorry.
What about you, producer Dan?
I am in a happy little relationship right now.
Hey,
Hey!
someone has progressed.
Bum, 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 bum,
Hey.
Someone got somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, now
after
elaborate
Hot
more.
Boy Summer- After Hot Boy Summer, I stayed
They changed
on
your life
Hinge.
and pushed.
you after Hot
Yeah,
Boy Summer,
that
what happened?
episode, yeah, I gained confidence and I really just started dating everywhere. No, I'm kidding.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I was on Hinge and I met someone and now I'm in a happy little relationship and it's nice.
That's
Congrats.
adorable.
Thank you.
We're happy for you.
We're happy for
Thank
you.
you.
If I were next to you, I'd give you a hug and a kiss.
And I would give you a kiss back.
Lots of love on this episode. Lots of hugs and kisses.
The bros
It's a
love
very
it.
wholesome
Oh yeah,
hot
yeah,
boy
that
summer.
bro.
That's the truest bit of Hot Boy Summer. Is it's all love.
Mm.
Think
Now, Danny, I
Hot
have a
Boy
question
Summer
for you,
is
right?
love.
And this question will apply to all of us. But when you first went on that first date with your girlfriend, right? You met online. You went through Hinge. What was that process like for you? Were you know, how did you prepare yourself for this first date? Mentally, emotionally, physically, you know.
I mean, for me, cause I had already been on some bad dates before. I was getting ready to go on this one, so I was mentally prepping myself for like, I don't want to say disaster, but I was
Expectations were
hopeful,
low.
but when you
Mm.
meet someone, it's a little different. So my routine is usually to get dressed and then just like mental prep, just like sit in my room and just I gotta get locked in.
What do you say to
Maybe.
yourself? How do you prepare? How do you mentally prepare?
I just have to convince myself that I'm a people person for one night. So it's like, come on, you're social, you got this,
I'm so proud of you,
you
Danny.
can do this.
You did it. I
And
mean,
worked out. Yeah, it
You
worked
was
out.
smart. You was kind. You was important.
you do like the whole thing that
Self-affirmation.
Nate does in Ted Lasso.
Oh yeah.
He like goes
Oh,
to the
yeah.
bathroom and spits in the mirror,
Yeah.
which is a weird thing to do, but I mean it works. I guess
Yo.
I'd prefer the whole what's her name? The boss lady,
Rebecca.
Rebecca. How she just gets.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it was
yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean it obviously worked for you, Danny, because here you are.
Look at that. You convinced yourself you were a people person, and now you're in a relationship.
And yeah, now it worked.
Sometimes is
There
that
you
what it
go.
is? Is that all it is? Just gaslight yourself into like you
Yeah,
know
I lie to myself all the time.
I think that's the trick. Is just
being
gaslighting
untruthful
yourself.
with yourself so that you can be truthful with others.
Mm.
Yeah.
Bar.
You just gotta
Listen,
believe that lie
look,
for a
I
few
am
seconds.
just. I had a lot of first dates that were just like. Well, I had a handful. I didn't have a lot, but they were just like not a lot of back and forth because I am a quiet person. So
Yeah.
I had to lie to myself and be like, "You are someone else for,
No,
for tonight."
but I will say,
In the sense
Danny,
that like,
Danny's just role
I
playing
could
now.
be more
Danny's role playing with himself.
I'm gonna be Danny DeVito today.
I just have to like. It's just. Yeah.
No, I will say
That's
that
the only way.
sometimes.
I know it sounds bad because I am being myself, but I need to push myself to.
No,
be
no, no.
myself
But yeah,
more.
speaking to that, I think there is a very real aspect to that where sometimes whatever it be fear, anxiety, like insecurity, or just past just bad instances, bad experiences can lead you to limit yourself, limit your belief in yourself. So sometimes I don't. There's a saying it takes like 30 seconds of insane courage to get things. I don't know what the ending of that saying is, but
wasn't
Yeah.
that from We Bought a Zoo?
maybe, probably. I haven't seen the movie in years,
Is
but
that
I've heard it.
10
I've heard it.
seconds of courage thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I've
I
heard it
feel like
before.
that's-
I
I feel like that's Alice in Wonderland, but I could be wrong.
Could be that too. But yeah, like 30 seconds of insane courage, or just like sometimes you really do have to like gas yourself up. Sometimes you really have to, make yourself believe something in order to get over this hump, to get over this mental hump that allows you to realize, like, you know what, like that wasn't so bad after all.
Mm.
Because a lot of the times we'll get in our heads about a lot of things. I know I do, about many different things, not even just when it comes to dating. I think because dating is such like it's a very social aspect, and you have to deal with other people, and you think about what they might think, like either do they like you, do they not like you, do they like what you're saying or how you're dressing, or like there's so many different things that like affect your decisions that can make you like and causes you to be nervous and makes you maybe not be your true self. And sometimes getting over that fear, getting over like whatever that limiting belief that you have of yourself is, can really show you that on the other side of that is like, on the other side of fear is it could be happiness, it could be something you never know, but you'll never really understand. Like, as I'm proud of you guys for like taking the risk, because putting yourself out there it can be scary. It's not an easy thing to do, but it's like you will never find out if you don't put yourself in that position. You'll never find out if you don't take that risk. And I think at the end of the day, like that's just speaks to it's like, I know a lot of times I can convince myself, it's like, I don't really feel like, risking this, or I don't really feel like putting myself out there for that. And at the end of the day, you really don't know. And then a lot of times I find that the best experiences are the ones that like I've taken a risk for.
Yeah. And that's what I was going to say. In my experience, it's always, even if the outcome doesn't play out like you wanted to go, it's actually, just because you took that risk on yourself, it's actually better. Always take the risk. You're never going to be disappointed in yourself because you took the risk.
Yeah.
And it's better to know,
Exactly,
than
yeah.
wonder.
You give yourself
So
closure, yeah.
Yeah. You take that dive that you at least know you tried your best.
Because at the end of the day, it's like, what do you have to lose? If it's an awkward interaction, it's an awkward interaction. Like, you may never see this person again.
Mm-hmm.
At that point.
And yeah, it always make up, like, it can always make up for a good story if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, Exactly.
And
Or
so,
a funny story.
and we love funny
We
stories.
love
here.
those, yeah.
But yeah, so
Shoot your shot, okay? Believe in yourself and shoot your shot. Gaslight yourself like Danny did. Like,
gaslight yourself.
and shoot your shot. You
Gaslight
got this. We believe in you. All four of us.
Are you done with your story, Danny? I don't know. Sorry if
Oh,
we
yeah.
just
No,
interjected on
yeah,
that.
I'm done. That's just my prep. It really is to just get dressed early and kind of get into like a little mental battle with myself and
Yeah. So this
get comfortable with myself. That's it.
this relationship stemmed off of Hinge. Am I wrong in that?
That is correct.
Yeah. So what are you guys like thoughts on dating apps? I know we talked about it before, but like this last year, like how's that interaction been with you guys?
I think for me, dating apps are hard because I don't take them seriously enough.
Mm.
And I assume that my sense of humor translates well
Mm.
over dating apps, when in reality that
Well,
might not be.
I
That's not
appreciate
really the case at all.
screenshots I get. I always
So, I see someone funny, like cute, and I want to get their attention. So I always come up with like the most ridiculous thing, thinking they're going to find this funny, but it's not going to work.
I mean,
it doesn't. However, I know that I screenshot this, send it to Danny, and we're good.
I feel like it's a good space to like, if you like, I guess if you don't take it seriously, like it's a good place to like workshop your material.
My material. Yeah.
Danny obviously is off of dating apps
For now, yeah.
for now.
No, forever. Hopefully forever. Hopefully forever. Yeah.
For now.
For now, because you're not, you're in a relationship. Hopefully that, lasts forever.
Yeah.
Liani, do you partake in dating apps?
I do not. I kind of, they
Have
give
you
me a little
ever-
bit of anxiety.
Have you ever done them or?
No, I have not.
Mm.
I've never made a profile. I'm like familiar with them, obviously, and most people, I think.
Which
who
one
are
day we
trying
should
to
probably
actively
make
date.
one
I
for
think
her.
it's just. I think that'd be really fun to do.
I think we
Um,
gotta make one for you. Next time you're
And
here in
just run
Miami,
it.
we're gonna make one for
And
you.
just run
okay?
it for her.
I think
Okay.
Run it- We're gonna be swiping for you.
Honestly, if you guys could run it for me, that would be great.
We'll be like that
You
MTV
can just
show.
vet everybody, because I think that's the bit I hate. Like one, making the profile.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I feel like it's hard, because you're just like selling yourself to people, right? And so
Yeah.
having to come up with like, what are my amiable traits? What do I
It
want to
is.
highlight? What pictures
Yeah.
do I want to put on here? Like,
Because all
I
you're
don't know.
going
I
off of
think
is a
that part.
picture,
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is interesting. It's putting the obviously you should be attracted to the person that you're
Sure.
into, but it's like all the incredible people that you're just like skipping just because like a quick snapshot, like you're making
Yeah.
judgments about a person,
Yeah.
And I mean, I guess that's what happens, in everyday life when people interact and you see people and you ask, like, people have interactions where they ask each other out on the street. Like, you just see this person, you find them attractive, or like you get introduced by friends and stuff like that, which I feel like I think is more organic in a way.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Mhm.
for me, I do like the organic aspect of dating, when it's more natural. So I haven't really been on dating apps. I kind of just
No?
deleted them and haven't really looked back. But it's because I don't know. The dating apps is strange. Like you go on dates and like, yeah, you can meet some interesting people, but other times it's like I haven't had like super awkward experiences. It's like, oh, that was nice. I had food. I grabbed a bite with like a random person, or I did something fun with a random person, and they were a good time. It was fun to meet somebody new.
Yeah.
But sometimes I find it just hard to. This is me personally speaking, because I know like other people have had luck, like
Like
Danny.
Yeah, plenty of people.
And it works for them. And I think I think for me it's hard for me to connect because dating is weird.
Yeah.
Dating is weird.
Dating is weird when
It's really
it's like
hard.
it's new, and it's like you're trying to get to this, like, meet this new like person. You have no idea who this person is.
Yeah.
Um
There's got to be, at least for me, I don't know if this happens to you guys, but there's got to be like some sort of like electricity, like chemistry.
chemistry, yeah.
Yeah, like, and with some people you have it, some people you don't. And when you have it with someone, it's easier to do the whole dating process
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know, it's more organic.
Yeah, and I think that when you find someone, when it's an organic connection, it's like you're everything, and you kind of just like says like your body just kind of reacts in a different way. Your
Yeah.
brain is more like it's
Same
just it's
wavelength,
different,
yeah. Yeah.
and you kind of get past the walls in your head
Yeah.
of something, because it's like for dating app, like for dates that you go off of dating apps, it's like it can be hard. Like were you nervous, Danny, for your date with your
Oh
girlfriend?
yeah, super nervous.
Yeah, like how did that? I mean, don't give us the specific details, but you don't have to if you don't want to. But like, how was that interaction? Like, how did you make that work? How did you secure a date?
Did you hug her at
I
first
guess
when you
through your
saw
first
her?
date.
High five her, kiss her? What was
Well,
your first move?
I mean, she's from.
Hi, how are you? I'm
um,
Danny. Just straight for the mouth.
no, definitely never. I could never do that. That's-
Whoa.
Did you
But-
jump with the hurt when he died?
Anyways.
No, keep
So-
Danny. I need an explanation before that's my headcanon.
Yes, hold on. I'll get into it now. She was going back to Maine to visit family, and we wanted to meet like before she left.
Mm-hmm.
So there was like a little bit of like a time crunch, like, oh, let's meet before you leave for 2 weeks. So it was easier because I didn't really have to. I had a way
Oh,
to
yeah, it's true.
initiate that I wanted
That's
a date because
Mhm.
it's like, okay, so we should before you leave, just to know if this is like worth pursuing.
Yeah.
It worked out well. And yeah, it was a wonderful first day. We drove to the beach, watched the sunset, and then had dinner by the beach. And then
That's
walked
awesome.
Romantic.
Yo,
Ooh.
Danny.
Okay.
Ooh.
and it was a wonderful time.
And so after that date, like you hadn't seen each other again for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So I'm
she went
assuming it
home.
was just a lot of like conversation over the phone. I mean, texting and
Mhm.
whatnot.
Yeah.
Which I think.
I mean, and she was doing her own thing. I was doing my own thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It
It's
was a
like
little
no,
bit of
there wasn't, since she's gone. There's not a lot of pressure to like
there's no pressure, yeah,
see
exactly.
each other over time, and it's like it gives you time to think about it, and it's like when you come back, it's like the onus is on both of you to like, oh, do we actually want to see each other again?
Mm.
Yeah.
Instead of like, you go on a date first time and you guys are available the next couple of days, like, do we do this again? When do you do this again? Like, how soon is too soon?
Yeah.
So awesome. Like, I guess it
Yeah.
really worked out.
It
Wow.
worked
Do
out.
you-
It just gave us some time to think and decide.
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
It
Do
was
you
nice to have
remember-
those two.
Do you remember like the line you used, like that first line you used on your girlfriend on Hinge?
Yes, but I don't want to.
Oh, okay. No worries, no worries, no worries.
The line is
So
gold.
I'll
You keep
that
it.
to myself.
Can you share it with me so I can
It's
use
not
it?
much of a line. It was really just a reaction to a prompt.
Oh, I think those
Mhm.
are the best ones when you react
Yeah.
to the prompt.
And then we just started talking about like traveling and
I don't know.
had a nice chat.
Mm.
But yeah,
We love that for you, Danny.
thank
So I have a question for you guys.
You hear this, Hollywood producers? Once you're done with this strike, make this into a romance movie. Turn this into a rom-com.
I have a question for you guys. Do you think that the person that you're dating or you're with has to be into everything that you're into? Or is there like, obviously like we want to find middle ground and stuff like that, but is there some things that like this person isn't into this, it's a deal breaker?
I don't think it's so much they need to be super passionate about it. I'm someone who's like obsessive with things that I love, and so I think it's important for me to at least have somebody. I think they need to respect it
Mm.
more than anything else, because even if they don't love it, I think, this is me personally, I would want to be with someone who, if they don't get it, at least they love me for it or respect
Yeah.
me for it, and won't
Judge you for it.
definitely judge you for it or like make
Mm.
fun of you for it, which is one of my biggest icks in people in general, not just like men. So I think
Yeah.
it's more that I think it's really nice to have a lot of things in common or a lot of similar interests, because if that's what you spend most of your time or like efforts towards anyways,
Mhm.
then it's nice to have someone who gets it, understands
Yeah.
it. Don't know if it's a
Yeah.
deal breaker necessarily.
Yeah.
I think it's more comes down to the maybe like the respect bit of it.
Because I know that, I mean, obviously the stuff that we talk about in this podcast is a lot of pop culture stuff, movies, films, games, and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of that can be, I mean, not nowadays. I think nowadays it's more like, it's the norm and stuff. But I
Mhm.
think, there's always been like this, like, stigma of like, if you like that stuff, you're a nerd, you're a geek, like you're like not loser, but it's more of like
Yeah.
you like that type of stuff. Like it's typically like, people get made fun of or do something like that. Like if like we go to like conventions and stuff like that, like Star Wars conventions or like any Comic-Con and stuff like that, where you like cosplay and do all that stuff because it's like something that we enjoy, something that's
Yeah.
fun. It's like, I think that, and I've met people that, will flat out just, make fun of people like that.
Mhm.
And it's like, it's interesting to see like when you're with a person, it's like, do they accept that part of you? Are they into that themselves? And I think if some part of it's like you said, respect it. It's like, you don't have to be completely into it. You don't have to be, dressing up next to me. And I'm not saying like we do that all the time, but it's
Yeah.
like, it's something that's fun. It's funny. It's good for us.
Mhm.
It's something that we enjoy doing.
Yeah.
I do think it's important that the person like understands that.
Yeah.
And it's not something that's like they overlook, and then because it's like if something that's like, oh, it's not that big of a deal, it's not that big of a deal to them, but then like, later on it's like it turns into something that's like they like make sly remarks that
Mhm.
aren't just really tasteful anymore. Like they're just like,
Yeah.
it goes past joking to just straight out bullying,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then it's
I
like that.
know.
Yeah.
I
ahead.
know. I know like one or two people. I've seen it in the past where like people will be in relationships with someone who doesn't like really respect their passions or really
Mhm.
care about them.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
at first I think it seems like maybe not a big deal, but I think the longer it goes on, I've seen it become a big deal. And that's
A
not to
big
say that
issue,
like it's not to say that like obviously you don't have to like we were saying everything that the other person likes, but I think with loving for someone and caring for someone, you then learn to care about the things that they care about. Maybe not as passionately, but and then wouldn't you all like also want to work like? I feel like if I was in a relationship with someone and they really like something, I would want to be a part of that. I would want to understand why they
Yeah,
like
Yeah,
it. I would
understand
want
it.
to
Exactly. Yeah.
because
partake in that,
you can
right?
share that with them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Being open-minded is
I think
important.
it's key.
Yeah.
Because there are certain things that my girlfriend's interested in that I'm not, or that I'm interested in, she's not. But we still respect that, and we still have times where we kind of share our passions. She'll sit down and watch a basketball game with me, enjoy it. I'll sit down
Mhm.
and watch whatever reality TV show she's watching. And it's fun, and we both find enjoyment in
People
each
of
other's
Atlanta.
things. Yeah. Adding it to my watch list.
Yeah, no, and that
Yeah,
can
it's
really
just
go.
open-minded.
Yeah, that can go for really anything. It doesn't have to be with like pop culture stuff. It can be any of the interests
Anything.
that the other
Yeah.
person like
Yeah.
holds dear, and it's like sometimes you may not be a big fan of whatever they're into, but like you learn, like you know that this is a big deal for them. This is important to them. This is something that like
Yeah.
this isn't just a phase. Like it's gonna it's important to them, and they're gonna keep doing that in their life and progress. And hopefully, like the goal of your relationship at that point, like you want to move further along in life with this person. And so sometimes it's kind of like, yeah, you may not share like a lot of like this, like the same like interests, but sometimes it also opens up an opportunity to share those interests with that other person that you never like. They never know. Like they might really get into it after a while.
I used to think growing up when I was younger. I used to think that the person I'm with has to like everything that I like. You get me?
Yeah.
You have to have a lot in common. The older I've gotten, I've realized that I don't want to date myself. I want to date someone that's different, right? Opposites
Mhm.
attract, right? I want someone that would compliment me and who I can compliment back, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I do like the idea. I love what Danny said, like being open minded and respecting, and Danny said too, respecting each other's interests, right? But at the same time, get to know, like if you care about this person, you want to get to know about their interests, right? That's one way of you connecting with them, trying to connect with their world, right? So that's what I've been learning. Like they don't necessarily have to like everything I like. In fact, I want someone different than me because they're gonna help me grow in a way that I was never gonna, push myself in because I'm in my little world.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy the opposite now.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask about that. Like, how do you guys feel about someone that's very similar to you? Like,
It makes
extremely
it
similar to
easier.
you.
I
Very
like
similar.
it, but I don't know. I want to challenge you. I guess I don't know.
No, exactly. And I am completely on the same page as that because it's just like I don't want to date myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to.
Yeah.
I think
It's
I want to.
also-
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, go ahead.
No, I was gonna just say like I want someone that like we're gonna complement each other, but that comes from like coming from two like doesn't have to be opposite ends, but like two different like
Things. Yeah.
Directions that we're coming from that we can go in the same one eventually. Not just like because it's like you said, it's like it's hard to progress with someone that's exactly like you because you just could be going the same way, and that for some people might be
That
their
might-
where they're
might be their thing,
comfortable,
yeah,
that what they
exactly.
like, and that's completely fine.
Yeah.
For me, I think what I've learned is that being with people that are very different help you see things differently. Different perspectives, and I think being able to get multiple perspectives from different things help you see all sides of it and help you see a picture more clearly. Especially like moving forward and progressing in life. And there are certain qualities and attributes that I found that's like, with every relationship's different, and you learn things from every relationship. And the things that I've learned, it's like you get to like know what you like, what you dislike moving forward, so that when you see the qualities that you like in someone and you feel like you yourself are ready to take on something like that and like put yourself out there and like be able to let somebody in and be there for somebody else. And it's like that I feel like is a very like it's an educated choice that you can make. It's an educated decision that you can make, but also like one that you feel like at that time like you're right, like this could be something that is worth the risk.
Yeah. And you're choosing to do that.
Yeah.
I do believe that love is a decision.
Yeah.
So doing that.
Yeah. What were you saying, Leonie? I'm sorry before I cut you off rudely.
I don't remember what like my original thought was, but I think it's important. also not to lose your sense of self in a relationship, which I think can be really
Oh
easy to
yes,
do.
yeah,
Especially speaking for myself, like I said, the things that I like, I really love, and again, naturally, you spend all your time on the things, your passions, right? So I think it's easy to fall into that. And if you're with someone who really isn't different from you, who thinks the same, who has the same experiences growing up, it's like you said, it's kind of dating yourself. And that's not to say that I think initial connection is based off of, right, like similar passions, things you like. That's how you connect with people in general, and I think that's a beautiful thing. But I think it's there's like a delicate balance of that, and also learning like I can still be myself and like different things, and just because I don't get this thing fully doesn't mean that I don't
yeah.
like this person or don't,
Yeah.
And what I love
or we
about it
don't
is
get
that you
along.
you have to, in order to do that, you have to, yeah, you obviously you have to compromise, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what you're doing is you love this person so much that you're saying, all right, I am willing to put, to be selfless enough to put some of your interests first, so that I to get to know you, so that I can learn to love you in a whole different way. And I love that, the fact that you have to, you're detaching yourself and trying to learn a little bit more about that person. So it's, what I'm trying to say, it's selfless what you're doing there,
Mhm.
right? It's you're
Yeah.
removing you're removing your ego, your pride. Like, no, I want to do this for you. And I think when someone does that for me, I think that's beautiful. Like, man,
Yeah,
like
acts of
when
service.
my mom does something, goes out
Mhm.
of her way to do something that I know I like, in my my own pop culture world, that she doesn't really understand. I'm like, I appreciate the sentiment, and it makes me, if anything, I just love you even more.
It reminds me of that time that I got the Star Wars thing, the picture.
Mm. Infamous story.
Which one?
The
Oh,
Luke and
repeat that story really quick, please.
probably heard it a bunch of times. But obviously, like, I'm very into Star Wars, and I had a girlfriend one time that she even wasn't really into it, but like she made an effort to get into it for me. So I remember for one of our anniversaries, she went on Etsy and got someone to like make this. It was like a frame, but inside of the frame were like Lego figures, like Lego Star Wars figures, and then it said it was like Leia on one end, like Leia, and then it had Luke Skywalker on the other one. Because she knew like Luke Skywalker was my favorite character. She had Leia, and then underneath that it said "I love you," and then the other one said "I know" under Luke Skywalker. And then a green like little Lego lightsaber. And I looked at it, and then I kind of laughed, and so was like, which I didn't mean to, but like like I just chuckled. I was just like, oh. And I was like,
It's a really thoughtful gift.
It's
yeah,
so
it
thoughtful,
was
yeah.
extremely thoughtful,
It's
and
so
it's like, but it's just so funny, the context. Obviously, like Luke and Leia were siblings, and it's like, obviously it's the wrong character that says that. It's Han that says that. So what I did was, like, I was obviously super grateful for the gift, and I loved it. But what I did was I printed out like a little picture of Lego Han Solo, and then I cut out the body, like the actual figure, and then I just taped it on
With-
top of the
glass?
frame of the glass of the frame. Yeah,
Why did they sell it like that? Like, why do they even sell that?
I don't
That's
know.
what gets me.
I don't know if it was like, and I'm not gonna go back and ask, but
Yeah, it's fine. Like if
there
she
were-
like
I-
customized it.
yeah, I think it was like, she knew Luke Skywalker was my favorite, so maybe like, I don't know, maybe, or she asked somebody else, but even then, like, I still don't know. But I think it's a funny story, and I think that's something like I'll always remember that,
But I love that
Yeah.
story so much, because this person went out of her way. Like, you know what? I know he loves this. I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to try to, do my best to connect with him in this way. And she really tried.
Yeah, no, and I
And
loved it. I was a great gift.
I remember when you told me this story when it happened. I was like, bro, this girl's awesome. Bro, I love this girl.
Yeah.
She won me over that day.
Yeah. So yeah, it's just stuff like that, when someone makes an effort and tries to go out of their way to appreciate, obviously respect and appreciate what you're into, but make an effort to kind of integrate themselves into that world that you like.
Yeah.
And I know that one of the ways that that I appreciate, one of my love languages, I guess, is acts of service. It's between acts of service and quality time, but acts of service is like, if I can see that someone does something for me, that it's like either makes it something easier for me, or goes out of the way because they know that I like this, or whatever the case may be. It's not necessarily like the actual thing that they're doing that I benefit from, but just the thought and just that act, knowing that they took the time to, first of all, think about the position that they're putting themselves in, and then actually acting on that and doing it for me. And that's something that it's like I do for the people that I love. Like for you, like I would more than gladly do things that you need help with. I love helping people with things. And just going out of my way to do something for someone that I know that they'll appreciate, that makes their life a little bit easier, is something that it's one of the main ways that I express my love for somebody, you know?
Yeah.
So when someone does that, you know, someone reciprocates that, it's just a very nice feeling, and something that it's very that I'm grateful for.
Especially if they don't know what it is, like understand what you're into, but they're doing it. It's
Exactly.
like they're putting themselves out there too as well.
Exactly.
That's beautiful. All right, guys. So one last question before we end this, and this is a fun one. I want to know. Whoops, that's the wrong app. Would you guys ever join a dating competition?
Short answer, no. Probably
No, you would
not.
never do that. Like you would
What does
never
that
do a
mean?
speed dating type of thing either.
Speed dating is different than
Like
dating
you're talking about like a
competition.
Too Hot to Handle love show, like Netflix.
Yeah,
Netflix, yeah.
yeah,
Show
yeah,
like
yeah.
that?
One of those. There's like
Oh,
1,000 of them now.
I would never do that.
Like on TV, no, I don't think
No,
I'd do
no,
that. I
yeah.
mean, game show, that's pretty much what it is. Yeah, I don't know if I would.
Yeah, I don't think
I
I'd
feel like
do
it'd be a fun experience, where like my end goal is not obviously to find love, but just to be able to tell a story.
Have a
I
good
think.
time. Those are the
Yeah.
worst people on those shows.
Yeah.
The absolute worst people on
But
those
those are the
shows.
people that end up falling in love.
Yeah.
Well, the ones that I've
Always.
seen at least. I don't know. I don't think I would.
I think the closest I've done to this is me and Dan last year in MegaCon. We did
Oh,
geek
yeah, we did the
speed
speed
dating. And that was interesting. That was funny. We had a good time.
Quite the experience.
Quite.
It
the
was like
experience 'cause-
hosted by MegaCon.
Yeah, some people there.
Yeah,
MegaCon. Yeah.
It was-
That's how
I
they
wonder
were
if they have
making.
that
That was their
combo.
booth. They were making money for it, and it was interesting. We enjoyed. I mean, at the
It
end
was
we had
fun,
fun.
like,
Yeah,
we weren't taking it too seriously.
we
at
weren't
all.
taking it seriously, but it was enjoyable. Like I didn't want to do it because like, bro, this is so stupid. But then afterwards, like because I put myself out there, like I said, when you put yourself out there, you never regret it. So
It's
I,
an
I
experience.
It's an
think we
experience.
had a few good laughs about it after.
for sure.
Yeah, especially at dinner.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
I think what shocked me the most, and I was like, dang, was how many girls gave their number to Dan. I was like, boy.
Again, why
my
are you
boy-
shocked by this?
My boy Danny. Because at that time, I didn't know Danny like that. You get me?
Mm-hmm.
My relationship with Danny's always been like an awkward one because like I used to be his teacher.
And then you made a
Yeah.
podcast
And then
together.
we made a podcast together, and then now we're doing speed dating together.
at
So like just seeing him like
Interesting pipeline.
seeing how this student like, oh, my boy. So I was like,
that was a lot.
And
of
Dan
fun,
was like,
man.
"Nah, I'm good.
yeah, Danny was,
I'm gonna go to Hinge."
He got one of the girls' number that I wanted, and he didn't do anything about it. I'm like, oh,
I'm sorry.
do you still have that number? No, just kidding.
I
No, but yeah,
do
but
not-
but it was
I
fun,
have
and
no
I
idea what that paper is.
yeah, the fact that I got to do it with someone like Danny, someone that I love, and someone I know I'm always gonna have a good time with, it was even better.
It
I think
was
that-
reassuring to know that you were sitting next to me, also speed dating
Yeah.
the person that I had just talked to, and I'm like, in the back of my mind, I'm like, I wonder what he's thinking about this.
I was too focused on myself to hear.
I kept
others-
listening to your conversation.
Oh yeah,
That's all.
And
I was distracted.
Yeah, and I think ultimately it speaks to the overall aspect of what we're trying to get at here is like, take the risk.
shoot your shot.
Shoot your shot. Gaslight yourself if you have to, and you'll never know what it's like. Like going back to that, quote that we can't really pinpoint where we got it from. 30 seconds of
know it's
insane
a
courage,
lot.
man. 30 seconds of insane courage can lead you to the love of your life, or it'll lead to an incredibly funny story, or terrible,
Great
terrible
experience.
heartbreak,
Or death.
or yeah, that too. So be careful when you're out there this summer in the streets, or if you're still at home. But whatever the case may be, take the risk, Shoot your shot
Gas yourself up.
and keep on searching.